All right, well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. We are here back again live with the going through the Alchemist, man, the book by Paulo Coelho, this life transforming book, and just really diving into it, man. We're diving into it not from just an entertainment standpoint or a leisure standpoint, but from a study standpoint to extract all that we can from it and hopefully not only just change our lives, but those that listen. I'm your host, ERGJ, certified financial educator. We got Mr. Beatles in the building.
What's going on, everybody? This is Mr. Beatles, your financial planner and small business developer, and we are extrapolating this morning on The Alchemist, and it's the language of enthusiasm that we're talking about today, man.
It is the language of enthusiasm, and as they talk about the language that is worldwide. It's the language that you can pick up on no matter where you are in life. You can pick up on when someone is enthusiastic, when someone has passion, when someone has resolve, when someone is living with a purpose. It is absolutely true, in my opinion, that language, no matter how it's displayed, the language of enthusiasm really does transcend above all other languages because it has infused with it love and purpose. It has infused with it desire and passion. All of that is inside of that language of enthusiasm, and hopefully you're living a life where you're exuding the language of enthusiasm every day.
Absolutely. Look, that is, but that becomes the challenge for a lot of people, you know what I mean? Because it's about enthusiasm is about your ability to express honestly what you feel. And many people are so afraid of expressing and saying what they feel, doing what they want because of public opinion. And again, as we've talked about in the past, failure and defeat can also be great motivators for you not to do anything. And so what we find Santiago doing is he's going through an evolution in himself, and just looking back, taking a moment to look back over the course of the last year and what's made him successful. And he's picking up these characteristics of success along the way and what it takes in order for him to continue on his journey towards his personal goals or his personal legend. And one of those big things is enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is this electric magnetic energy that propels you along your path, even when you don't feel like it. It's the enthusiasm. It's the love and the purpose. It's the unconditional feeling that you have towards your definite major purpose that continues to push you forward. Love, I like that I'm a lover of love. And the reason why is because I feel like I have an understanding of what it is. And the challenge is working towards perfecting that love every day. And that's being unconditional. That's not judging your environment at all, but allowing your environment to teach you lessons and embracing those without you putting your thing on it, right? When you put your thing on whatever is happening in your world, that's the ego setting in. That's the ego saying, hey, it's not supposed to look like this. Mm-hmm. My opportunity isn't supposed to come in this shape, form, or fashion. My partner is not supposed to be talking to me like this, or they're supposed to be loving on me like this. And again, we kind of put a perspective on it based on what we think we know. But if you just allow the world to just unfold itself to you and love on it unconditionally, so many opportunities will show up in your life.
Well, it's absolutely phenomenal that this language that we know when we are most enthusiastic, and I would say it's typically when we're doing our thing. And the question is, well, if we know that this is the place where we have the most enthusiasm, this is the place where we are unconsciously doing whatever it is that we've been called to do. We're unconsciously doing, following our personal legend. Then the question is, why don't we make the conscious decision to do that more often? because it's in that space that that we are doing what we love to do, and that we actually attract more of what we need in our life in order to continue to accomplish the things that we want to do. I mean, sometimes people ask me, "What do you do for fun?" Well, what I do for fun is what I love to do. That is what I do for fun. And so I think as I do more of that, then I'll be of greater service to the world as well, because I am doing my thing. And
Right.
hopefully more people decide to do their thing versus versus just doing whatever. Because here's where Santiago is, man, in the store. I mean, he's had a level of success. He's come in and he's made a difference in the merchant's life. He's made an impact in his life, in his business. He's taken it to another level just by him being him. Obviously, he had something to get out of it. He's looking to accomplish his own thing, but he's really put his stamp. He's leaving this crystal shop in a much better place than where it was when he first got there. And that right there is a phenomenal thing. Whenever you can walk into a situation and by the time you leave, you've made it better, then you've done a great work. You've done a great work. And so now Santiago, after seeing all of this, he's like, okay, now it's time to go. But when he's ready to go, he's deciding, well, where am I going to go back to my old self and prosper in that area, or am I going to go towards the new self? Am I going to go back to the known, what I've always known, or am I going to go to the unknown? Am I going to go back to work, or am I going to go towards my dream? And so it's just this space is very, very near and dear to me, because we kind of make this decision a lot in our life. Especially when times get tough. And okay, well, times kind of got tough. I got to make a decision. The easy decision is to go back and do what I've always done. But here's the question, and here's the space that really got me. He said, "What if I never have another opportunity to chase my dream? What if you never have another opportunity to do what you love to do, to chase your dream, to realize this big audacious goal that you have? What if you never have another opportunity?" Because here's the thing, guys, many of us always think that we have time, and time is the thing that's not promised to you. So what if you never have another opportunity to chase your dream?
Just right quick, everybody, welcome to the call today. Welcome to the call. What's up? I just want to give everybody a high five right quick. What's up, Revel? Self-awareness, self-esteem, self-protection, author, public speaker, EFT, and hashtag tapping. You can find her on, let's see, what is that? Bodaciousliving.com. And then we have the lovely Brittany Moore in the building. She's self-motivated, intelligent, and goal-driven woman. She's got it. And then we have the lovely Karen Ward in the building. She is going to write that book this year. What's happening, y'all? How's everybody doing? Going back to what you are, what's comfortable, what you know, what you're good at is a real tricky place, because the entrepreneurial dream, the entrepreneurial myth that we all find ourselves in when we want to chase our dreams, we want to do what it is that we love to do. There's no business model around that at first. Initially, there's no business model around the dream, and so we've grown up and we've been taught that if you do a job, if you do a thing, if you do a skill, you'll get paid, and the payment allows you to live a certain lifestyle. So when you decide to do your dream, when you decide to step out on faith, you don't always know what that business model looks like, how you're going to sustain yourself. And so you find yourself in the wilderness, like we talked about earlier, Evan. You find yourself in the wilderness, and many people find themselves there. And the wilderness is a lonely place, and you can kind of figure it out. You can scrap and get by. And but again, you start to really think, man, like, is this really worth it? Is my lights getting turned off really worth it? Is me catching the bus as opposed to being able to afford an Uber or take my car to work, is it really worth the sacrifice? Is it worth the hassle? And you have to know that, man, you may never get an opportunity to really live out your dreams. If you don't do it now, you might not ever do it. And it's cool to think about it, but in all reality, you might not have another opportunity. You might not have another chance, but you always have what's on your resume. That skill set never goes away. And so you got that in your back pocket. That becomes your plan B. What you've always done in life is your plan B, but plan B sucks. So move forward and do the things that you've been called to do. Have the courage. Oh my God, I'm speaking this to myself right now. Have the courage to do what you've been called to do, and watch how God shows up in your life. And that's what Santiago talked about.
Man, this thing that you're talking about with the wilderness, man, it is an interesting place, man.
hey, that thing said it. that hit you.
Yeah, it's an interesting place, man, because you go hard. You're really pushing forward towards trying to, because basically what we're saying is when you're in the wilderness, you're in that place of I have to create. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're creating. When I think of the wilderness, what I'm thinking of is Noah's Ark, man. I'm thinking of him building this boat that he never seen for rain he's never experienced. You know what I mean? And hoping that it's gonna float.
Mm.
Let me repeat that again. He's building a boat he's never seen for rain he's never experienced and hoping that it's gonna float. And that's pretty much, as an entrepreneur, what you're doing. You're building something that you probably haven't seen, because a lot of us, we don't have a model for what it is that we're creating, right? I mean, we've seen some things or whatever, but what it is for us is it's different. It's different for me, even though it's similar, or it could be similar for some other thing, but it's different because I got my own spin on it. I got my own swag on it. I got my own, personality in it, and so it's different. And so. And we're hoping that as we put the energy, the time, the effort into it, that it's going to float, that it's going to sustain us, that it's going to be all that it is that we see it becoming. Yeah, we if it is to be, it's up to me to figure it out, and so we figured out along the way. But that journey, that place, there's not many other people that's going to be in that space with you, because they're not in your head, they're not in your heart. They're not in your dream. They're not in, they don't have the same vision that you have. And so going through it and coming out of it is that is a very, very interesting place to be. And I'm sure many of you have experienced that place. And that same place that Santiago's in right now is the crossroads. I've decided that I'm going to go back, but my decision now, it didn't really hit my heart right. I mean, you know what I mean? I've already made the plan. I'm going to do this. I'm about to leave, but it doesn't sit right in my spirit. And for some of us, we just say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, because this is what I know to do. But for some of us, we're like, man, I can't do it. Like, you know what I mean? I just cannot go back to that job. I just can't. You know what I mean? I in my mind it makes sense, but in my heart it doesn't. So there is a conflict between the known and the unknown, and you got to ask yourself: am I going to follow my personal legend? Am I going to follow the omens? Am I going to follow what has been revealed to me from whatever it is that I follow? Because for Santiago, he has. For the merchant, he has it is written. He has Maktub, and he's confirming for Santiago where he's going. For Santiago, he has Urim and Thummim, which is representation of this king who, in essence, is his spiritual father, who he carries with him, and he's reminded of every time he comes back to the two stones. So it's just very interesting that when he pulls those things out, he's saying, follow my dream. But imagine saying to yourself, follow your dream, and then reality kicks in.
Right. Did it right? Reality kicks in. Georgia Power, that bill comes in. Because that's really what we're talking about, right? Like it would be so easy to follow your dream if you didn't have to worry about making a living, right? Everybody would follow their dreams if you didn't have to necessarily make a living in the traditional sense. You didn't have the insurance, you didn't have the light bills, you didn't have mortgage, you didn't have daycare bills. Then it's easy, right? Because what we're really saying is that I don't have to worry about the money. And when you are following your personal legend, you have to consider that as well. You have to know that you're following your personal legend and you're doing things in reverse. So you see the vision and you're moving toward it, and the more enthusiasm, the more love, the more effort, the more time, the more energy you put towards your personal legend, the more you attract the stuff, the byproduct, which is the paycheck, the gross revenue, the net products, the service, those things come, but you have to step out and you have to do the thing. When you do the thing, you have the power, and it's in the effort, it's in making the commitment. And as Santiago was saying, he said, man, I know what the sheep are. I know what the job is like. I've done project management for the last 10 years of my life. I know what that stuff is like. What I don't know is what's going to happen when I get to the desert. I don't know how friendly the desert is going to be to me. I don't know how long I'm going to be in the desert, and I don't know if I'm going to find my treasure. But the worst thing that could happen is I don't find the treasure. I went out, I experienced some new stuff. I learned some new languages. I've learned how to figure it out, develop the new skill set. And out of that, I can go back to my old project management gig and be 10 times better because I'm better.
Now, I think that there's a huge lesson here, especially if you are in a place where you're like, I am ready to start to follow my personal legend. I know what it is, and I'm ready to kind of step out. What Santiago said was he realized that now where he is, as he's getting ready to leave the glass shop, here's two things that he's made a mention of. He said that I finally have enough money and have all the time that I need. So as that's one thing that he's taken care of before he stepped out on faith, is he's taking care of making sure he's got something to sustain him for the next 3 months, 6 months, a year. He finally has enough money, and he finally has all the time that he needs. And that's why he can say, along with him knowing what he wants to do, he can say, why not? So as you think about where you may be right now, and if you have the job or whatever the case may be, hopefully it pushes you to get to a place where you have enough money so that if you do step out on faith, you've got something to sustain you while you're in the desert. He can't be in the desert and broke, because then he's going to be eating sand. You know what I mean? Right. He's in the desert. He's going to the desert with something to sustain him along the way as he goes to find his treasure. So I want to make sure that you guys, before you quit your job, that you build up enough in your storehouse to sustain you so that you don't have to go back to the job.
Right. Your business is going to need it. Your dream is going to need it. And as simple as that, you don't start a business without reserve capital. And normally that capital is you need capital for 6 to 12 months. When you don't have a strong plan, you might need capital for 12 to 24 months, right? While you figure it out, while you develop your team. And so that's so it was really, really important. So the first time that he did it, he started thinking on it. He was like, man, it'd be a good idea if I follow my personal legend. How do I do that? And as he continued to stay open to the opportunity, to the idea of following his personal legend, of going after this treasure, the universe started to reveal itself to him. And he was reminded of the old king's words. And he said that the universe will continue to help you as long as you are interested in following your personal legend. Like, God is not going to push you. He ain't going to push you into doing anything. Right? The universe isn't going to make you do anything, is going to help you do whatever it is that you want to do. So if you want to be more, do more, have more, it's going to help you do that. It's going to promote that. It's going to open those doors. When you have the courage to step out, it's going to step out there with you. But the reverse is the same as well, though. If you choose that, you know what, I don't really want to follow my personal legend because I'm scared, I'm afraid, I don't know enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't know how to talk to people, then that's where you'll find yourself. You'll find yourself right there as well. And it'll do whatever it is that you want. Your wish is your command. So if you believe you can, it'll happen. If you don't believe you can, well, the same is true as well. It won't happen. You're absolutely right. And there's no arguing that.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can many people, we go back and forth in believing and not believing. And so you got to ask yourself which of the beliefs are which of the beliefs are stronger. You know what I'm saying? Because it says it's an old saying, it said my will to succeed must be stronger than the thought of defeat, right? So which belief is stronger for you? The fight within. I know that's right. But yeah, so Santiago, man, this is very, very, very this portion of the story, man, I think a lot of people find themselves in a crossroads. And what he finds out, he says, you know, basically like you said, Mr. Beatles, that when you want something, the whole universe conspires to help you to achieve it. So what is it that you want? What is your personal legend? Have you determined what it is that you want out of life? What it is that you want to accomplish? What it is that you want to do? What it is you want to be? Have you determined what your personal legend is? And also, have you resolved within yourself that come hell or high water, you're going to find a way to go after your treasure? Because think about the desert, guys. The desert, and you're gonna start to see some visions. You're gonna
mirages,
right. You know what I'm saying? You're thirsting for water. It's the desert.
All that happens in.
But you have to decide that you want to go into the desert in order to find your treasure. And that's why I think this story and this book is life-changing if you ever decide to read it and study it and get what you can out of it.
If you are living your personal legend, if you're thinking about stepping into your personal legend right now, or you're doing it and having some success, we have a seat open. We got 2 seats open. We'd love to hear from you for a few minutes before we close out the show and talk to us, because that's where we get our energy, man. It's not a me show, it's a we show, and we need your thoughts. We need to hear from you. What do you have to say this morning?
What do you have to say? What is your personal legend? What is the treasure that you're looking to find in the desert?
Right. We got Afranio on the call. We got Topaz that just joined. And we have the Alchemist. The Alchemist definitely should be joining right now. We got Magic Brad. He is the marketing alchemist. I mean, what's going on? What's happening?
You got EDS. Maybe she'll join.
Tell us about your business.
Brittany's back. You know, here's what I found, Mr. Beatles. A lot of people, you know, it's too early in the morning, scared to show their face.
Too early. They still got we don't care if you got cold in the eye, man.
Like to talk from the sidelines.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Brad.
Hey. Hello there.
What's going on, Magic Brad?
I got something in front of my face.
Oh, that's all right.
You know those pop-ups. We love pop-ups.
All right.
So what am I supposed to do with this thing? I'll just click it. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota at 6:30, and I just popping around on stuff, and I saw The Alchemist. So that's why I clicked on.
Fantastic. I'm sure you've, if you have that in your title, I'm sure you've read the book, I'd imagine.
I have.
Right.
And I just like the concept.
So did you so have you made a connection or a few connections between the book and your business?
I I read the book a long time ago, so I don't really recall a lot about it. But a lot of it is just walking out in faith.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about being out in the desert, and it's strange things will happen, and it's becoming more and more evident these days than the way it used to be. Is there used to be statistics? You do a postcard mailing, and you're going to get a 3 to 5% response on your direct mail piece, and you could kind of measure things. And nowadays, the internet has flipped things 180, and it's kind of like you just got to throw stuff out there, and then the universe conspires to bring it back to you. And you just got to be awake and know when the opportunity is there.
Right. And that's big. Being conscious, being awake, being aware, expecting that if you put it out there, that it is going to come back. And then when it does come back, recognizing and appreciating it, even if it's in the smallest forms. It doesn't always have to be it's not always the big thing that we recognize. The big thing is it's right in front of you. It's the elephant, but it's the walk. It's the waking up in the morning. It's the warm water. It's the roof over your head. Those things are also kind of indicators that the universe is conspiring. It's taking care of you. And if you continue to do what you said that you were going to do, then it will do more of those things for you.
And I also noticed like the whole thing about coincidences. Some people say there are no coincidences, but what I like to do is hyphenate it. So it's
absolutely.
It's two incidences happening at the same time.
Right.
And it's conspiring to manifest something. And the analogy I use is like, so I live here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, so I know a lot of the things around here that are familiar to me. But if I went out to LA and I started driving back to Minneapolis, I wouldn't see anything that I recognize. I would once in a while I'd see a chain gas station or something, but I wouldn't see any familiar landmarks until I started getting closer and closer to home. I'd go, that looks familiar. That looks familiar. And I started seeing more and more coincidences. And then I know that I'm getting closer to where I'm supposed to be.
Fantastic. So Magic Brad, you called it the marketing alchemist, I guess, part of your business or the name of your business. Why did you name it that?
It's a play on the lead into gold thing. And I'm a lead generator, so it's turning leads into gold. And I capitalize lead as lead because it's spelled the same.
Very good.
A lot of what I work is in trade shows. A lot of people exhibit in trade shows, and they really have no clue of why they're even there. They just think they're going to start selling stuff, and they didn't come up with a plan, because you need to narrow down your plan. You got 1,000 people walking through the trade show floor. There's probably 5 there that you need to meet.
Right.
You can't spend time chit-chatting about the football game because you got business to do. There's only 3 days of the show. So that's kind of what I consult with people on.
Good stuff. Get to the point. I said, absolutely, get to the point. He said, oh, well, before you go. I said, you got a Stone Mountain shirt on. Yes, I do, Brittany. Yes, I do. I'm representing Stone Mountain in the building. But yeah, let's follow that personal legend, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do that. If you don't do anything else, you have to have the courage to do that. I tuned in later. So what do you define as like the personal legend? That's a really good question. I think it's different for everybody. It's your definite major purpose. It's your worthy ideal, as Earl Nightingale would say. It's the thing that you wake up for and you have to do. It's what you bring, the value you bring to yourself, and the stuff that you give to the world. And it's different for everybody.
Got it.
And the challenge is having is truly having the courage to sit down long enough with yourself that you can map that out. And I found that to be difficult just kind of over the Christmas break. I started to reevaluate my definite major purpose. And when I started thinking about how big and audacious it was, I was like, man, can I really do that? And I had to get up from the table a few times because I was like, I don't know. Maybe that's too big.
I would
maybe $100 million is too big. Maybe a school is a charter school or a university. Maybe that's too much. They're not smart enough to do that.
I would define personal legend as the dream you can't seem to forget. The dream you can't seem to forget.
Yeah.
It keeps coming back. It stays with you. You keep trying to, you get busy in life and you let it go. It keeps coming back. I would say it's the dream you can't seem to forget. That's the thing that I believe that you should work towards realizing and creating here on the earth, whatever that is for you.
So like I've been doing, I got my start doing magic. That's what I started doing as a kid. And then when I graduated, I went full time as a magician. I had a job, but I got laid off, and I thought, well, that's no way to go because there's no security there. And I just went into full time magical entertainment. And then as time went, I started getting into producing events, and then I started getting into this internet marketing thing. And it always seems to be going back to live events and magic. So that's what I do is I perform magic at trade show booths. So it's live events. So that's kind of like what you're saying is that thing keeps on coming back. Even though I kind of want to do that dream of a automated income through the internet.
Yeah.
Ain't happening.
It just keeps hitting you in your face. Yeah. All right. Well, look, I have to, I got to drop right now. I got to keep it moving. And it is 7:30, but I know that you guys, sometimes we stay on a little bit later than 7:30. But I just wanted to say I love y'all and thank you for continuing to join every morning and sharing with us and choosing to follow your personal legend. This is Mr. Beatles, your financial planner, small business developer. I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, we're going to wrap this short, man. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. On the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy show. We're going through The Alchemist. And so tune in with us tomorrow. Subscribe to us as well. We'll be here, same bat time, same bat channel, just kind of going through this and hopefully not only making a difference in our lives, but also making a difference in your lives as well. Because it's not just about the individual, it's about the group as well. And so you can check us out at wealthyhealthyhappy.net. Plenty of information for you. Plenty of opportunities for you to get engaged, get involved. Some opportunities to connect with us if you're looking for a coach, if you need some help financially, some financial consultants, working out. It's all about the whole embodiment of being wealthy, healthy, and happy. And so that's what it's all about. So The Alchemist, follow your personal legend, the dream you can't seem to forget. Go after it, guys. We'll be back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. We are wealthy, we are healthy, we are happy, and we are out. Have a great day.